Okay. This is the site of actually the oldest house in Arcata in Humboldt County. It's built in 1849. Yeah, so this was really the only house in the whole area. And the guy L.K. Wood lived here. And so this is the site of where I've been working on building a Cob Oven. So there's about 12 people that live here in the house. Some people camp out in different structures outside. And so let's go take a look. So we're here at the farmhouse in Arcata, and I wanted to let you know what we've done so far. We've gotten to this stage so far, and so we've done some steps to get to this stage. So what we did first, we dug down about 16, 18 inches or so, dug down into the earth and took out all the topsoil and got down to the clay. And then filled that then with rubble. We got some broken chunks of concrete and put that into the hole, and then got some gravel also and put that in there. And then I raised it up off the ground some. And then we got these red squares, these blocks, and put that down. And so then we got these cinder blocks and made a ring out of the cinder blocks. I went ahead and I just went 3 blocks high. And then we have this arch right here. I got some flexible wood and made an arch and put these cinder blocks in. We'll be taking the cinder blocks out once this is set up some. And so this will be for wood storage down below. And then we did a ring of 2 bricks high right here and used the cob as a mortar to stick them together. And now we are insulating the floor right now. So we're using bottles for the insulation. And we're using sawdust. We're actually using some of this wool here. We mixed some of the clay slip in with this wool that was here on site. And this is good because it's just a nice lightweight material that has lots of air pockets. And so, and because it's encased in clay, it won't burn. And so we're going to be finishing putting our insulation over this. And then we'll be putting a layer of cob, about 1 inch of cob, over that. And then letting that set up a little bit. And then we'll be putting our bricks down over that, and then building our mold, our sand mold, and putting our cob over that, and letting that set up. And hopefully tomorrow we'll start insulating the oven and give it some design and sculpture. And then we'll let it sit for a couple weeks and then come back and plaster it. So, and we're using earth right here, right on site. It seems to be pretty good clay, and just mixing it up here with our feet, mixing up the sand. So it's about 70% sand, 30% clay is our mixture. So, okay, that's that. Okay. So we are making progress on our oven here at the farmhouse. So we've put down our red brick down here for our floor, and then I made a pile of sand. And the pile of sand is about 30 inches wide by about 16 inches high. And so it's the sand. I added just a little bit of clay to the sand to make it compact well. And then I put some paper dipped in some clay, kind of a paper mache, put that over the sand. And then I'm putting the cob over. I made this form here. I got some wood and just bent it. So this is about 10 inches high and about 16 inches wide, and just put these in to support this. And so now I'm making our cob mix. I'm going to add some egg here to the mix. And what the egg does is it helps to keep the mix from cracking, and or the oven from cracking when it heats up. And it only needs a little bit, just a little bit is all it needs. It also helps to make it just a little bit stickier too. This mixture is about 80% sand, 20% clay, right? So it's very, very sandy. That's so that it won't crack. And so the egg also just helps to make it a little stickier. So just mixing this up here. So where we're at now is we put this copper tube inside the oven. So I made a groove about 2 inches deep into the oven, and then put Cob over it. So, and I have it sticking out this much because we'll be having our insulation layer in Cob, so we need to kind of stick it out. And then it's coming out this far. So this is, if we want the option of either having it come down here, we can, or we can bend it and we can have it fill up the tub, which we're talking about doing. So, now we're ready to insulate the oven. So this here is a mixture of sawdust and clay, right? So it's just, it's pure, this redwood sawdust I got from up the road. And I use bagged clay, it's bagged mortar clay. Basically, I got this bag of mortar clay, and $5 a bag. And it's pure clay that doesn't have any sand in it. And so it's very, very lightweight. And so this here, this can just go on right over this level, this layer here. So I'm going to be covering this whole layer with the insulation. And the idea behind the insulation is that it helps to retain the heat inside the thermal mass layer, so the heat won't escape so much, and so it'll retain the heat so it'll stay hot longer, right? That's the idea. Also, it helps that if there's any cracking that's going on in here, it keeps the cracking from spreading to the outside surface. So yeah, and so the insulation, you could also use perlite, you can use vermiculite, you can use straw, you can make a very, very strawy Cob mix. That also works. But I'm using sawdust because it was free and readily available. So so we'll be then doing this and then putting a layer of Cob over that, and then we'll be sculpting our Cob oven. All right, cool, thanks. Sculpting the Cowb oven, right? and so we've made a first fire going in there now. So we're kind of drying it out. You want to start small, don't get a big fire going first, and then it'll crack the oven. And so we did this bench here yesterday. These are made with some cinder block here, filled with rubble, and then covered in Cob. And we put this little roof over it yesterday, so you can see here, it's basically a carport, and we put a bunch of sticks over and some plastic, and so hopefully this will work as at least a temporary covering. So I'll be coming back next week to plaster it all. It'll be good to have fire going in here like every day, just to help dry it out. We have this little bell. This will tell you when the pizza's ready. And then we have a little copper tube right here that we can pour cold water into the ear, and then it'll coil around and then come out hot water right here. Alright, yeah, so this is our door. This is our little Cob door. So the handle is the nostrils. So this can just go in right like that. So the door is really only used if you're going to do like a slow cook, like some bread or something. That's when you want to use the door. And so yeah, so the smoke comes out of the nostrils either there or okay. Hi. So I'm back at the Cowb oven here in Arcata, and it's been about a month now. So I've been letting this dry out, and so I've been doing a plaster. This is the plaster mix here. So this is a lime plaster. This is a mix of actually hydraulic lime and mixed with hydrated lime and sand. So it's about 3 parts sand, 1 part lime. And I added some iron oxide pigments in it for the color. So I put this on, and so I let it set up for about 15 minutes or so. And then I smooth it out with the sponge. that. And just to kind of get it smooth, and then to get it really smooth, I take this little yogurt lid, cut in a circle, and I take this and I kind of just rub it against it. This is called burnishing. And so I rub this and that gets it nice and smooth, and it helps to keep any water from being able to penetrate. So that's what we're doing. So it'll be kind of a tan color here and brown and tan here, and we'll go ahead and plaster the bench here, and then let this set up, and then we'll be putting a sealer on it and making the colors nice and make them pop out more. So the plan is to make a little fire in here too tonight, and maybe even do some pizzas.